Hi, I'm made up of 0.0000019% mercury, and this is ES Einsteinium. Atoms are tiny, so small that even with a microscope we can't see them. But when we have been able to see them, with advances in technology, we can see that they're made up of protons, neutrons and electrons. The protons and neutrons form the positive nucleus in the center, and the electrons fly around the outside of the nucleus in shells. Electrons are negative, and that's why they even out the atom's charge, not making it plus or a minus. Atoms bond together to form molecules or compounds. A molecule is a single or group of atoms which are all the same, such as H2, whereas a compound is a group of two or more different atoms, such as H2O. It's the electrons which interact with each other, as each atom wants a full outer shell. Atoms will gain or lose an electron, and this will give it a charge. It will be positive if it loses an electron, and negative if it gains one. Hold on, but you said electrons cancel out any charge, but now they're giving it one? Yes, an atom when at its equilibrium will have the same number of electrons as protons, but per bonding it can change. Charge atoms are known as ions. If a negative ion meets a positive ion, they will be attracted towards each other like magnets and join together. This is ionic bonding. You can tell what compounds have ionic bonds as they tend to be metal and non-metals. Sometimes atoms will share electrons instead of giving them away or collecting them. This is covalent bonding. Covalent bonds tend to happen between two non-metal elements. The last type of bonding is metallic bonding. Metals form massive structures where they have electrons that are free to move between the outer shells. The actual bonding is from the free electron and the metal ion. Remember, they have lost or gained an electron, which makes it have a charge. The bonds are really strong, which allows it to maintain a regular shape and have a high boiling and melting point. These free electrons mean that metals are really good conductors of heat and electricity, as the electron can carry the charge or heat through the metal. But how can we tell which atoms are in which molecules or compounds? Well, molecular formulas tell you what the molecule is made up of. For example, methane with its CH4 contains 1 carbon and 4 hydrogens. If there is a letter without a small number after it, it means there's only one of them, whereas a letter with a number after it, such as 4, there's 4 of them. Leading on from that, a display formula shows you what the molecule actually looks like. Back to our example of methane, has 1 carbon, so we'll put that in the middle, and then 4 hydrogens round the outside. The reason it can have 4 connections is because it's 4 electrons away from having a full outer shell. Atoms have an ideal amount of electrons in shells. The first shell is limited to 2 electrons, the next 8, then 18, then 32, and you'll never really need to go further than that. Now, because carbon only has 6 electrons, 2 then 4, it has room for 4 more in its outer shell, allowing it to bond with 4 hydrogens which only have 1 electron. Now, some molecular formulas have brackets in them, such as CH3 brackets, CH2 close brackets 2, CH3. Then it's simple to work out. Start with the CH3, first with 1 carbon and then 3 hydrogens around it. Next we'll move on to the brackets. We've got CH2 inside, so we start with the carbon and the 2 hydrogens. Outside the bracket there's a 2. It means there is twice what there is inside the brackets, so we put another carbon and 2 more hydrogens. Then we'll move on to the end with the CH3, put our last carbon in and our last hydrogens. There are some molecular formulas that everyone should know just to make chemistry easier. It's carbon dioxide, CO2, hydrogen, H2, water, H2O, oxygen, O2, carbon monoxide, CO, hydrochloric acid, HCl, calcium chloride, CaCl2, magnesium chloride, MgCl2, sodium carbonate, Na2, CO3, calcium carbonate, CaCO3, sulfuric acid, H2SO4, magnesium sulfate, MgSO4. Okay, now time for a summary. 1. Atoms are made up of protons, neutrons and electrons. 2. Electrons are grouped in shells. 3. Positive ions and negative ions come together to form ionic bonds. 4. Atoms share electrons for covalent bonds. 5. Metallic bonds have a free electron which moves between the outer shells. 6. A molecular formula shows you how many of each atom in a molecule or compound. Thanks for watching. Hit like if you enjoyed the video. Hit subscribe for more videos. This is the Eccentric Scientist signing off. Ciao!